everyone, welcome to the video series of the subject Object-Oriented Programming using Java. Myself I am Alisha and I am going to cover the topic Object Class in this video lecture, and this topic is a part of unit number 3, Inheritance and Interfaces. Now, what is Object Class? Can you think about it? Is there anything is a default ancestor of some class? Which thing is available by default as a parent in Java? Is there any class is available which works as a parent class of all the class? The answer you will get, yes, this is the object class. This object class is available in java.lang package. This package you can see inside this if you have the JDK libraries. If you have the API, then you can search this object class. Now, what is this basically object class? This object class is is available in this java.lang package. So, full name of this class is java.lang.object. Now, this is the ultimate ancestor of every class. So, when you create any class, this object class is the default ancestor. So Java classes are always extends from this object class. This O is a capital. You must have the idea about the object and this O capital object. Object, that means when you create the object by using the new operator from the class, it is also called as an object, but it is a reference of some class, and the memories exist for that particular object in heap memory. Now this object O capital is a built-in class available in Java, and this class is basically a topmost class. Now you never have to write in your code like create some class, then give the class name, then extends object. Here class employee extends object, that you never need to write, because by default when you create any class, this object is a default superclass, right? So don't need to write this. If you are going to write, then also there is no error. You will never get the compile time error, right? But you should not write this. Now object class is a direct or indirect superclass of every class. So because of this thing, it is called as a cosmic superclass. This object class is basically a cosmic superclass. Now it is a topmost class for the Java. And what is the use of such a topmost class? So you must have the idea about the superclass variable can refer to child class instances. So this object class basically used as a reference type. So object is a superclass of all the class. So you can refer any child class object by using this object class reference variable. Means that you can always write like this. You just create the variable of type object O, then semicolon is the signature of declaration. O is the type of object, and you can give the reference of any child class by using new, then class name, then constructor call syntax. So this O can refer any child class instance, right? Now we have already learned one thing, that is finalize function. This finalize is a function of this object class. When your object is going to delete from the heap memory area, it always invokes the finalize function available of this object class, right? So this function is of an object class which is automatically invoked by GC, garbage collector of Java, before deleting object from the memory. Now the toString function that we will use in this video lecture, this toString basically represents your object in form of string. So you can print that string, or you can describe the object description in form of string when you are going to print by using the system.out.println. So this toString function is basically used, and this is the function of this object class, right? Now if you have this JDK APIs, then you can open this JDK API in your in your any web browser, and you can see this class. What is this class? What are the functions available in this class? So here this is the java.lang package. This is the language package, and this is the object class. You can find it over here, the classes list. Inside the classes list, go for the object class. So this is the class object. Public, it is a public class, object class. This is the root of the class hierarchy. So when you open any class, this is the by default super class, this first level class, this java.lang.object. So when you search this all the classes, you will get first super class name as a java.lang.objects. So what are the methods available in it? So if you have this API, you can find this all the methods from API also. This is the return type of the function, this is the function name, and this is the description of the function, and the whole description you can view by clicking on the function. This is the toString function available over here. Like that, this all the function list is available. By clicking on the function link, you can get the more description of this, right? So this toString function, hashcode function, getClass function, returns the class, this all are the functions available in this object class. Now I am going to cover this all the methods over here also. So for that, let's move to the methods of this object class. So here this is the method. Your first method is a getClass method. This getClass methods returns the instance of the class. So return type is class, class C is capital. This class is a built-in class of Java. The object of this getClass function, which is returns this class object having the metadata about the class. That means what is the class name, what are the fields available, what are the methods available in the particular class. This whole metadata information of the class will be stored in the object of this class. Now the next method is a hashcode method. This hashcode method returns the integer value. It returns the basically hashcode number of the object. So you can get the hashcode number of the object by calling this function. Now next method is a equals method. Equal method is a parameter as an object. This method returns the boolean value. It returns true or false. It basically used for the comparison of two objects. It compares the reference past object with the current object, and based on the comparison it returns the true or false value. The next function is object clone. It basically generates object is a return type and clone is a function. This function is basically used to create the clone of the object. Now next function is available. The return type is string and function name is toString. This is already available built in this object class. Now this function is basically invokes automatically when you use some objects in form of string. Like in print system.out.println, if you are going to use the direct object, then this toString function will be invoked from this object class. Now whenever you are going to override this in your class, it will automatically invoke your toString function as per the overriding concept and runtime polymorphism concept. Otherwise, by default, it invokes the super class, that means this object's class toString function, right? Now, this next function is a notify. The two notify functions are available, notify and notify all. Basically, these two functions used when we learn the threading concept. So this threading concept having the mechanism of notify, that is the concept of signaling and this concept is basically used for the inter-thread communication. So to provide the inter-thread communication, this notify and notify all function we will use in threading. Now this is the wait function. Now this wait function, again the three wait functions are available having different parameters. This is the overloading function available. Function name is same but parameters are different. Now based on the argument, this wait function works. Wait function waits the current thread for particular notification. Until the notifications arrive, this current thread waits. So this is again the mechanism of inter-thread communication, and this we will learn when we learn the threading concept. But this all are the functions of object class, so keep in mind this thing, right? Now the next function is finalize function that we have already learned. So when you want the mechanism of garbage collector, to implement in your program, you just need to override this finalize function, right? So this finalize function we have already overridden in our garbage collector video lecture. So this function is basically of this object class, right? Now, what is the use of this object class? So here I am taking one example. This is the rectangle class having the data field, width, height, and having the two constructor. One is no argument constructor to set width and height equals to 1 of a rectangle object, and two parameterized constructor width and height set with the passed value. Now, if I am going to override this toString function with the public access specification, because it is already defined with the public access specification. So when you are going to override it, you have to specify as a public. So here this toString function returns the string value. So the return type is string. That's why I am just building the return string, and I am just describing this width and height in form of string by using the string concatenation mechanism, and I am preparing some return string and I am just returning that value. Now where this function will use? So if you have such a main in some demonstration class, and if you are going to create the object of this rect class, and if you are using this rect object inside the system.out.println, you will automatically get the output of toString function. See here, you will get such output. So in the system.out.println, you have just used the object of rect r. But this r, whenever you are going to use this r, it automatically converts your object into string by using the function of toString. It automatically invokes this toString function and converts your objects into form of string, and you are getting the output like this. So let's try the examples of this object class. What is the use of this object class? So I am going to open the Notepad++. So here this is my code window. In this Notepad++, I have already created one class rect having the width and height as a data member. This is the no argument constructor. This is the parameterized constructor that we have already learned in previous video lecture. Now inside this rect class, I am just going to create this toString function. This is the basic function of object class. So I am just overriding this function actually. So at the time of overriding, I have to use the public access specification because it is declared as a public in my object class. Though I am not going to declare extends object, this class is by default a child class of object class, right? So I am just overriding my super class toString function in my class. Now here I am just building one string s for the return value. Inside the string I am just creating my class name, and I am just preparing one string by concatenating this data member value with some constant string, and height I am using here. I am just preparing the string, right? So this is the string. Now this string I am just going to return, because the return type of this function is string. So just return this value string, return then s. So here this toString function returns it. Now just create the public static void main. I am just taking the declaration from this available code, public static void main, and here just create the object of rect class like this. Rect is a class name. I am going to create object r new rect, right? Now just use the system.out.println, system.out.println, and inside this println just use this r. So though you are not calling the toString function, then also it automatically invokes this toString function of this rect class, right? If you are not going to override, it automatically invokes the toString function of the object class that I am showing you. So let's open the command prompt first. So I'm going to open the command prompt. So here I'm just moving in my drive OOPJ programs, and here my file name is to use of toString. So Java C use of toString dot Java. It compiles and see the output Java then space then class name use of toString then see width you are getting 1, height you are getting 1, because inside the code you have used the no argument constructor, and this no argument constructor actually prints the default values that you have written inside the this no argument constructor, assigning no argument constructor, right? So here you are getting this written value of toString. Now what will happen if you are not overriding this? So I am going to cancel it out, saving this file, and again I am going to compile it. So see here what will happen. Here you will get the output of like this. So this is the basic output written by the toString function of the object class. If you are going to override, then you will get the output of your toString function. Like otherwise you will like this. Otherwise you will get the output of toString function of the object class, right? Now what is the another use of this toString function? So here again I am opening the Notepad++. This is the Notepad++. Now the another use, you can find the superclass name also by calling the function, because this getClass is a function of object class. So you can directly call this getClass function by using any object, because this getClass function is of every class. Yes or no? Because all the class are child class of the object class, so you can directly call the function. Now getName function is a function of a class. So here you can print the class name of this R object by using this syntax getClass. By using the object class function getClass, it returns the object of class, and you are calling the function of class getName. So here you will get the name of the class like this. I'm just saving my code and opening the command prompt and just recompile the code and just rerun the code. See here, you are getting the name of the class as a rect class. Now if you want to get the superclass name, then again you can call such a function get superclass of the class. So here I'm just opening the Notepad++. So here it is a Notepad++. You can call the function like this, getClass then get superclass. This is the function, and again you just call the function getName like this. Now save this file. So you can get the superclass name of this rect class. So here this is the command prompt. I'm just going to compile this code and just going to run this code. See what is the name of the superclass of rect class. Here we are getting java.lang.object. So this is the by default superclass. If you observe the code, we did not return the extends object. Then also we are getting this object as a superclass name. See the syntax. What the syntax I have used? I just call the function of the class get superclass that returns the object of the class that that works as a superclass of current object. So it returns the object basically. So here in the code I am just calling the function get superclass, and this get superclass returns the superclass class object, and I am just calling the function getName. So this getName basically .getName I am calling. So this getName basically invokes the function. This is the function of class, and it returns the name of the superclass, and we are getting the superclass name as a java.lang.object. So this is a, though I am not returning object as a superclass in my code, then also I am getting this as a output. See here, I am not writing any extended any class name extends than class name in my code. So hope you people are clear with the concept of this object class. So, and what are the use of this object class? What is the default ancestor of all the class? What is cosmic superclass? What are the functions? What is finalize function, wait functions, notify functions, where these functions are available? And why we can call this all the functions? Hope you people clear with this object class. So I am going to end this session now, end this video now. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you all of you.